Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the Sandman. This is episode 6, The Sound of Her Wings. Man, you would think with my glasses, which are really dirty, that I would be able to see, but I can't, I guess. Welcome. My name is Iman. If you are new here, welcome. This has been an adventure, a journey. The last 2 episodes were freaking mind-bending, mind-blowing, amazing. The last episode was haunting. It was terrifying. It just gave you this very uneasy, unsettling feeling for like the whole hour, or however long the episode was. And then you got Dream coming in. You got Morpheus coming in saying, "Hey, you can't kill a dream. You can't kill hope. You need hope. Dreams are here." And it's like, oh wow, okay. Now I know what his job is in this show. He's a good character, and he's trying to help in this very dark world. So I'm excited to jump straight in. This has been so much fun. It's really great. I'm gonna count down for the full timer, uncut, unedited versions of these reactions, which you can find on my Patreon. Thank you guys for your support. Those links are down in my description box below. And let's do it. Let's get started. No, it's just hanging out at the park, feeding the birds. I mean, I'm pretty sure that's not really good for the birds, but
Heads up!
oh, damn! You didn't see his? Yeah, I was gonna say invite him to play.
What are you doing?
I'm feeding the pigeons.
You do that too much, you know what you get?
Shit.
Fat pigeons.
Oh.
I can tell something's wrong. I mean, look at you. Sitting here moping, pigeon feeding.
Yeah, but who is she?
I was so sure that once I got everything back, I'd feel good. But in some ways, I feel worse than when I started.
Damn, I feel that one. Man, that's what it's like when you do the work on yourself. You're doing better, and then you're like, damn, what the hell? Why do I feel so shitty now?
You could have called me, you know.
I didn't want to worry you.
Oh, don't believe it. Let me tell you something, Dream.
Is that his sister?
Feeling sorry for yourself because your little game is over and you haven't got the balls to go out and find a new one.
Okay, damn.
Heads up! Wow.
Can you both play?
Friend, dude.
He's not my friend, he's my brother.
Okay, see?
Idiot.
There you go. All right.
I can't stay here all day, I've got work to do.
Is she Destiny?
You
Is
can come with me if
she?
you want. Or you can stay here and sulk.
I mean, what? I want to know. Man, imagine your skin just being that, like, smooth. Like,
Should I maybe see you again?
Sure, Franklin. You'll see me again, soon.
uh-oh.
Okay, cool.
That could be a good thing or a
Yeah,
bad
let me see
thing,
the
depending
number.
on what her name is.
Wait, how did you know my...
Ooh.
Come on, Franklin. Are you playing or not?
Come on, you knob. Like, it starts cursing him out, the poor guy.
There you go. It's a gift.
All these men. I mean, I don't blame the men. She's like, it's nice.
It's delicious.
But they're not going to treat Dream like that. Like, it's not going to get that attention.
Any word of the prodigal?
The prodigal son.
No. Still missing.
Oh, wow. How interesting.
You were both missed.
I love this. It's like some biblical references in this show. It's pretty cool.
How?
I know this piece. I haven't heard it in 200 years.
Wow. Man, you do forget that this guy was imprisoned for so long.
Sorry for the noise.
It's not noise, it's Schubert.
And
Keep
this guy's
going.
not worried about
can't.
random people in his
Never
home.
finished it.
Do you know who I am?
No. Not yet, please.
Oh.
It's time.
Which is like a reaper? Death? She's deaf?
There's something I have to say,
Oh.
if that's all right.
Cool.
Man, this show is heavy.
Adonai Echad, hear, O Israel, the Lord is our God, the Lord is one.
Wow. I mean, I would not have expected her to be deaf, but that makes sense. It does make sense for her to be deaf.
I'm glad my old man always said it would guarantee you a place in heaven. If you believe in heaven, I look so old,
Oh.
so empty.
Taking my shoes off. Take yours off too. It's good to touch the earth with your bare feet.
That is true.
Grounding.
It is grounding. It is true. Damn. It's nice to do that on the beach if you get a chance. We're full of energy, you know, we're electrical. We need to let the electricity somehow get out of us.
Hi, Sam.
He's like, huh? Do I?
I'm sorry.
I know I go. I hope I do. I mean, is he dying now? Did he die?
I need to talk to my wife, Flight. 1 second.
Oh.
You don't understand. All our flight information is on my phone. I just need to give her the code.
Damn, this.
Sam?
He drowned. Oh, God. Oh. Oh, Lord.
Sam!
Oh, man. Wow. Okay.
When the first living thing existed, I was there. When the last living thing dies, I'll put the chairs on the table, turn out the lights, and lock
Wow.
the universe behind me. I actually used to think I had the hardest job in all our family. Fear the sunless lands, yet they enter your realm every night without fear.
And yet I am far more terrible than you.
But eventually, I learned that all they really need is a kind word and a friendly face. Like they had.
Damn, this episode.
Yeah. I'm afraid so. So there is, little one. That's all you get.
Man.
Eating. Then maybe another nap. Mummy's sick. Then maybe the park. Lovely.
Oh my
I
gosh.
find myself wondering about humanity.
People may not be ready for my gift, but they get it anyway. No matter what the circumstance.
Oh.
At the end, I'm there with them. I'm holding their hand and they're holding mine. I'm not alone when I'm doing my job. The only reason we even exist, you and I, and desire and despair, we're here to serve them. I've learned so much.
They're gonna see that guy again and he's gonna die.
Lots of
here?
people don't have a job they love doing, do they?
That's true.
I think I'm really very lucky.
God, this is so deep.
I've got to head.
I love that they chose this actress. She's perfect for this
You have
role.
taught me something.
Did you see that? That car came like this close to hitting me.
This close, huh? Come with me, Franklin. I need to show you something.
Man, I mean, that would be beautiful though if every time you die, you have like a friend to take you to where you need to be. Why is he doesn't have the same like appeal as his sister?
Come on then.
What? Oh,
What are
whoa.
you waiting for?
I like this gothic look.
At least I get out and meet.
Certainly, lady.
So, yeah?
The look here. He could be in a rock band.
This is terrible.
That's just wild to think like this is what she's been doing from the beginning of time. What a tiring job.
I've made up my mind. I'm not going to die. I might get lucky. It's not the first time.
There's so much to do. There's so many things to see.
I could grant him his wish.
Do that, and he will be begging for death within a century, I assure you.
So she
Very
can
interesting.
make people live forever, and that's why I forget the guy's name. Captured Dream.
Let us meet here again, Robert Gatling. In this tavern of the White Horse.
Oh.
In 100 years.
Oh, and well, he's a little late because he was trapped for a minute. So that guy's sitting in here.
100 years' time.
Oh, this is awesome. I mean,
this day.
we're gonna see why death is important
I will see you.
and why it's necessary.
Have I made a bargain with the devil?
No.
Then why aren't I dead? Long since. Is this some kind of game?
Well, kind of.
I'm here because I'm interested
In me?
in your experience. You live your life as you choose. Then on this day, every 100 years, we will meet.
Well, he knows what it's like, but he, you know.
It's fucking brilliant.
Huh?
It's all changing.
In what way?
Chimneys.
He's seeing the changes.
And now we have the playing cards.
What will you people think of next?
With any luck, something to get rid of fleas.
But what have you been doing
God.
for the last 100 years?
Yeah, like, what are you doing with your life?
So you still want to live?
That's interesting.
Oh, yes.
That's the thing. It's like, it's never enough, I think.
100 years then?
Oh, yes.
This is a great perspective. Who's that? Timothy Chalamet? Like, what? Why does he look like Timothy Chalamet?
Got in a couple of bottles
He
of good
seems like
wine
he's
for
doing
us.
great.
Already made it.
He hasn't lost his mind. But he also doesn't seem to make any connections with people.
This is what I always dreamed heaven would be like. Way back. It's safe to walk the streets, enough food, good wine.
But what if there's what if he lives through a disaster?
I would give anything to have your gifts. To give men dreams that would live on long after I'm dead.
Who is he?
His name's Will Shaxford. Acts a bit, wrote a play.
Shakespeare.
Is he good?
William Shakespeare.
No, I've saved the best bit for last. The Queen herself slept at my house this summer.
Yeah, who is that guy? He's talking about dreams. Well, I want to see him again when his son inevitably passes and Eleanor passes.
You sure I can't help you, sir?
No, thank you.
Get back to the stews with the rest of the filth!
Oh,
Do you know how hungry a man can get?
wow.
If he doesn't die, but he doesn't eat.
That was what I was curious about. If he ever went through some sort of a famine, he can't die.
I've hated every second of the last 80 years.
So do you still wish to live?
Death is a mug's game. I've got so much to live for.
This is so interesting. I can't tell you
I heard something
how
funny.
much I'm enjoying this
Something to me
episode.
said, there's a new system where they take English cotton goods to Africa, get a cargo of Negroes, pack them in like sardines.
And that's what
What?
you're doing?
I suggest you find yourself a different line of business, Robert Gatling.
After 400 years, what happened to live your life as you choose?
Would you take that choice away from others?
400 years now I've been meeting you here, and there is so much I still don't know. Who are you?
I might ask both of you that same question.
Oh,
Please.
wait a minute. That's
Do not trouble yourself.
Constantine.
Striking bargains with men, sharing gifts, immortality.
Oh.
Have you nothing to say?
I am no devil.
And I'm not Jewish.
Well, he's practiced his fighting skills for 400 years.
What did you do to her?
She has old ghosts that I have shown to her. You need not have come to my defense.
I can't die, remember?
Aye, but you can be hurt or captured. You must be cautious.
That's so true. God, what
Always.
if, like, he got his limbs cut? Like, some psychopath just
100 years then.
tortured him, and, like,
100 years.
would you want to... You know, that's an interesting question. Like, if you're healthy and fit and you could live like that, of course you would. But what if you weren't? Or what if you were comatose? You know, like...
For a second, I thought you was bloody Jack yourself.
No.
Jack the Ripper.
No, I know that, sir. Just joshing ya. So,
Man, he looks good.
Get yourself a drink.
Maybe just one.
I just don't know how people were like getting dates back in the
Sorry
day.
about Lushing Lou.
A crazy accent.
I think I know why we still meet here century after century. I think you're here for something else.
And what might that be?
A friend? I don't
Friendship?
know. Yeah.
I think you're lonely.
Well, if you're like the only one. Uh-oh.
I'm not saying...
Dare suggest one such as I might need your companionship. Then I shall take my leave of you and prove you wrong.
What? They need each other. Well, if you live forever, you need a friend that lives forever too.
Here in 100 years' time. If you're here then too, it'll be because we're friends.
Oh my god, this is so crazy. I can't believe this man has lived for so long. This is the 80s.
Mind if I...
I'm actually waiting for someone.
So he's been waiting for years then.
You waiting for someone?
I think I've been stood up. We had a fight.
Oh, okay. I guess 1889 and 1989, yeah, it's been...
It was mine.
This place has been sold to make room for new flats. The borough council are trying to stop them, but if you've got enough money in this country, you can do whatever you bloody want.
Okay, so Dream was still captive at this point. So it wasn't necessarily that he didn't want to meet him, he was just captive. I wonder if he wrote that down. He must have. Aww.
You're late.
A wizard is never
Sounds
late.
like I owe you an apology.
Nor is he early.
I've always had it impolite to keep one's friends waiting.
Well, he proved him wrong. I mean, proved him right.
Attend, sweet sibling. It is I, Desire. I stand in my gallery and I hold your sigil.
Oh man, you're a desire. Whoa.
My plan has failed. But don't worry. I have a new one.
That's like the heart. That's the end of the episode. My goodness. I will say, this episode made me look at things from a different perspective. I think my perspective has always changed on death and living for eternity, because I grew up Christian, and in my faith, or the faith that I grew up with, you learn about heaven. The first thing you learn is you live for eternity. And I remember being a kid and very young, like 5, 6, like these conversations were happening, and I could not comprehend eternity, and eternity scared me. It made me feel like you know, just the heebie-jeebies, like ugh. I don't know, like heaven sounded great, especially the way it was explained to me. It's like you've got grapes that are this big, and you could play with sharks and any animal. It could be your friend, and you could live anywhere in the universe. You can fly, and you could go from one place, and then in an instant you're on Saturn or Jupiter or somewhere else, and maybe you're in another world, like a universe somewhere else. So it sounded great, but there was still this fear of like, what does that mean, not dying? And then what does dying even mean? And both of those scared me. It's like the only thing I know is to live. So that's what feels normal. That's what feels safe. I think in the last couple of years, I've really tried to push myself to understand what death is, and not to necessarily to run away from it, and because it's an inevitable thing, but knowing that it is terrifying for me. And it was something that, like, ignorantly, and I think a lot of people live like this, like, we know we're gonna die. We know, oh yeah, death is real. Some people have encountered more death than others. Some people have met a lot of loss. And so death is much more real, tangible to some people. And then death isn't tangible to a lot of people because some people have grandparents who are still alive and great grandparents, and everyone's just they haven't had a death in the family or something. So it's like you start to kind of think about like yourself as being, yeah, death isn't going to come to me. It's not going to come to my family, not going to come to my friends. But then, so I think I don't know what episode it was of Arcane, but I was talking about accepting death. And this is something that I do believe like we should learn about and accept. Like, and I do feel like in our Western society, we are not taught what death is. It's definitely scary. And I even think in like the Christian belief system, because I grew up in that and I can talk about it. I can't talk about any other belief systems, but with Christianity, I feel like it's a running away from death. It's also it's like this fear, like some people may disagree with me, and that's totally fine. It's just my perspective of like, well, when we die, we're going to go to heaven. And then when we get to heaven, that's when our real life is going to start. And so a lot of people on this world then becomes this temporary whatever. We don't need to really dream and do the things we need to do. We can also keep the planet, trash it. Who cares? It's temporary. We're not going to sow our oats here or be rooted, because anything can happen, and we have the next chapter of our lives. The real chapter of our lives starts when we die. And I don't know, I find that to be it could be detrimental, and I think that a lot of people get to that place where it's like, okay, yeah, I can't wait to get to heaven. And then it stops people from like just experiencing the now and like the being in the present time of like, this is a gift. Being alive is a gift. And but yeah, I have these back and forth things of like, okay, I do believe we should have more of a conversation about death, and then having a lot more resources and understanding, just talks. People don't like to talk about it. I know that because, you know, people want to talk about the fun things and the happy things and all of that. But I do think it's necessary to have like an understanding of it. And because it is literally, it is life. It's life and death. So the way that they showed death in the beginning, it was like, you know, you can really appreciate what she's doing and how she's doing it. And that it is a part of life, and like a lot, and like it was a gift. It's so interesting they called death a gift, but as immortals, I think they do feel like it is a gift. It's tough to live forever. It's so interesting that this is coming up right now, because I really had been thinking about this. When I was 18 years old, my baby sister passed away. She was about 5 or 6 months old. She had a thing called trisomy 13, and she was really supposed to not even be born alive. She was supposed to have all these things going on. Heart was supposed to be outside of her chest, and brain and head not fully formed. But all of that, she was perfect. She had a cleft lip and a cleft palate, but she was just a sweet little girl, and I was so excited to have a baby sister. I have my stepsister, she's my younger sister, and she's my baby sister too. But it was just, I had all these boys in the family, all these brothers, and it's like, wow, I have a baby girl. And so, I mean, it was one of those things. She had an eye infection, and she got the doctors wherever she wasn't feeling well, and I think it got so bad that my family had to take her to the hospital, and the doctors gave her a shot of morphine, and when they did that, it stopped her heart, and Thankfully, she was able to be revived. But after that, it was just downhill. And we had to hire people from hospice. And when you have hospice, that means death is going to happen. And it was just so sad. And I remember when she did pass away, it was, I don't know, it was a really difficult thing. And I remember, like, my mom was with me. I'm trying not to cry in this because I don't want to cry. There's nothing wrong with crying, and I'm very emotional. And on this channel, I try to be open about things. But I wasn't exposed to death until my sister, and I didn't want to see her. My mom was picking me up from a friend's house, and she got the call, and I felt like it was my fault. My mom wasn't there. There was like a lot of guilt, and my mom, there was just the way that she like cried was hard. I don't know. It was like the sound she made was really hard to hear. My stepdad was there with my sister, and she died in his arms. So he was holding her the whole time. And I remember going to the hospital, and I didn't want to go in. I didn't want to see her. I was scared to see. I've never seen anyone dead, especially someone that was just a baby. So I was standing outside the room, and then the doctor just walked in and opened the curtains, and I just saw her laying on the bed. Then the fear I had to see her went away, and I just walked in, and it just looked like she was asleep, and she just looked like the same. She was just sleeping, it seemed. I don't know if I ever processed her death, or my mom or my family did. We don't really talk about her. Her name was Esther. Yeah, so I do understand that death is just terrifying. And the fact that I have kids, I get so scared that they would die prematurely, or I would die before I can, get them to be adults and like feel like I gave them everything. So it's like I can understand when people are like that one, the black man who died in the river. He says, I had to give my wife all this information. I need to tell her this and that. It is like, being a mom, you want to be able to make sure your kids are going to be okay. But I guess that's what the world is. We don't have any control over anything like that. That's why you just have to live each day as if it is a gift. The gift of life, and then in a way maybe death can be a gift for some people who are living in pure agony, and people who have MS or really degenerative diseases, and they want to have that assisted a death, basically, which is like in Switzerland, that's a thing. and I know that's controversial, but I feel like if you're not able to do the things you used to do and you're in excruciating pain, and it's up to you, we should have we should be able to make these decisions. And even though it is going to hurt people, but it's like, God, but if you're in that much pain, you should be able to take your life in that way. I believe that. But yeah, I say to accept it. We must accept death, and we should not be fearful of it, but understand it in a way that it is a part of life, and it's the cycle of life. But if, I guess, you were able to live for eternity, that's the question, which I personally, I feel like the situation that this just happened, Linus and I were watching, was it Lex Friedman had a guest on, and I forget the guy's name, but he was talking about technology for the future to kind of get to a place where people live longer and get to a place where there is immortality. And this is a thing with Arcane too, which with what I was saying with Arcane was like, I just feel like trying to make things to live forever is not the best thing, and it's kind of selfish. The reason I just see it as potentially selfish is because unless everybody, and I mean everyone, from people who are poor to the rich, are able to have access to some sort of eternal life, if you want to live for eternity, or first of all, having the choice, like, nope, I want to die, so I want to be able to live like a regular human, just let me live and die. And then there's people who are like, no, I want to live for eternity. There's technology for that now. Okay, I'm in. And then I feel like it should be affordable to everyone. I felt like there's this thing, because the way I look at the world is I try to look at the world in this way, where I'm trying to, it's this broader sense, I'm seeing everything as much as I can. It's like, I know that I'm happy living right now because my children are alive, they're healthy, I'm healthy, I'm alive, I'm not injured in any way. I live in a nice place. I'm working in a way that I enjoy. But what if I'm homeless? What if I'm being abused in some way? What if I got into some sort of accident? And I mean, these things are not necessarily all in our control. Anything can happen. Sickness happens, injuries happen, accidents happen. Would I want to live for eternity? But I mean, the thing was, like, seeing that the guy, he went through it and he still wanted to live. So it is interesting. I don't know. It made me think. It made me question my own thoughts, I guess, a little bit. And but I do find it that I feel like if there was technology to make people live forever, that it would not be for the poor. It would go to the rich, and it wouldn't be fair. And then you would have people who are tyrants living forever. And there's nothing you could do to stop them. If people live forever and they're, you have a Hitler who can't die, okay, well, he'll just come back again another time. And when he's 100 years, he comes out of hiding and he's back and he's stronger than ever. And it's like, oh, I've got even more weaponry, because things are still gonna keep moving forward. Like, technology always gets better and things always get easier, and so I see it like that. And then I'm like, it's just unfair to make. What if families were living for eternity, but the family, like the father or the mother, was abusing the child, like locking them in a cage, which we've heard stories, like stuff like the crazy stories like that, and their kid has to eternally suffer. So this is how I think. I'm like, it's not black or white, but it's definitely like, there's not like, oh yeah, living for eternity sounds great, but it's like, it depends on where you are in the world or where you are. Like if you're doing great, then yeah, of course you want to live forever. And if your friends could live forever, and your partner and your mom and your dad and your kids and all of that, and like everyone was, and it was great, and it was a heaven type of situation where the point of heaven is everyone is, there's no one who's going to be a sinner there, so people are loving and kind to one another. There's no ulterior motives. People don't want to take. It's so that's the thing. Like but it's not going to be that. I don't think, even if we got to a place of technology in 1,000 years or something where people could live forever, human nature is not, like, we have beautiful qualities, but we also have very disturbing and evil qualities too. I don't know what the right answer is right now. For right now, we live in a world where we do die, and it's cool to have a show bring up this topic in such a beautiful way. And I think there is something within us that even when we go through loss, we still keep going. Like there's the story of Job in the Bible where he literally loses everything, and he still has this faith in God, and he keeps going forward. And you can break that story down and be like, this seems like an evil, like, this is weird. Why would a God do this to or allow? No, it was Satan who was allowed to destroy Job's stuff. God was like, all right, he loves me. Do your best. You could, but I'm not talking about like that part, like how that makes you feel. I'm just saying that Job went through all of this and he still had the faith and he still rebuilt his life. There's another story, like Primal. I don't know if any of you have seen the show Primal. You should. It's really, 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 really great. And I think it's on HBO or Amazon Prime. I think it's Amazon Prime. I don't remember. It's one or the other. But basically the main character suffers loss, and it's beautiful to watch the story of life and how we can rebuild and keep moving forward. And it doesn't mean you forget the people who you've lost, or you still have them in your heart, but it's that there's something within humans that we don't give up. We can, but we also can keep going. And I think just it's the people around us, and it's within us, and having that beautiful strength within us that we all have. I believe that. I believe it. Hope. It's literally hope. It's dream. It's a dream. And when that hope is still there, it doesn't matter what you go through. You know that at the end, I guess if you live in a radically free life, free of fear, you can achieve anything. And you can live every day loving on the people you love. And when you make a mistake, I'm sorry, saying that, and then keep moving forward, and just love. And the one thing I got from Miss Death was that she's like, this is our job. This is how we function. I am here for a purpose. My purpose is to take care of people, be kind to them, and help the world kind of keep going. And I feel like that could be for a thing for all of us. Like, imagine we lived in a world where each of us took time out of our day to just be kind to people, talk to someone, smile at somebody, love on people, and not in a selfish, self-absorbed type of a way, but just for the hell of it, just because we are all connected and we are all one, and we are. Yeah, this was a heavy one. This one made me, it brought up things that I'm thoroughly impressed with the story. This is one reason I really love art. It's so important for the world. It's important for us as humans to have art, so that we can talk about it, we can have emotions, we can get angry, we can get sad, we can get happy, all kinds of different feelings, and to be challenged too. It's good to feel a bit uncomfortable. We need to feel that way. I think if you're always feeling comfortable, you may not be growing in the way that you should be. I think we should all feel uncomfortable and go through these growing pains, and growing pains hurt. I remember getting, like, when my legs would be sore when I was getting taller as a kid, but it is necessary. You have to go through it, and that's the only way to grow. So I don't know, you just have to have faith, you have to have hope, and you have to have a dream. And I like to say that my name Iman means faith, and my mom named me that 32 years ago. So I just find it interesting that I always loved my name, but I didn't realize that it could be a thing that I would need to rely on. Like, oh, my name, I need to live that, my name, and maybe have a job where I'm potentially giving hope to others too, in whatever these conversations. That's my hope. And that we could just continue to love these shows that these amazing people are giving us, and not be so critical over everything. Just have a good time. Love. But yeah, it's so good. This made me think of so many things. There was one thing I did, if you're still watching this, 'cause this is long, in the pub, I think it was the first time we went into the tavern, when I don't know the guy who's living for eternity. I don't know his name. But there was like conversations about there must be law and order, and then other conversations about like, this is how I see the world, and how it should be this way, and it's who dreams are for suckers and art is for no, we need to have realistic conversations, and whatever it was. So it's so interesting. If only people really understood that we are not, we are mortal, maybe our conversations would change, and it wouldn't be so stuck on, I'm right, my ways are right, my views are right, you're wrong, and fighting over stupid things because we don't know if in an hour we're gonna die, or tomorrow, or in a week. I ask everyone, and myself included, like, let's live in a way that we can choose every day, every hour, to be loving ourselves and in loving others, even though it's tough, because not everyone's in that mindset. People are mean, and people are rude, and life's hard, and you might be struggling with money, you might be struggling with food and shelter, and that doesn't help. But I say, let's just try a little bit here and there, and because what a waste of time if we don't have immortality, and when we don't, and we're just talking about, this is how the law should be, this is how believe in this God, no, my God's right, I am a Democrat, no, I'm a Republican. Who gives a crap? You might die tomorrow. Eat some good food. Call your mom. Even if she's not nice to you, just say, I love you. If she's still alive, or your father, or whatever it is. We are not promised time. We are only here for a short time. And we should live each day as a gift. And I'm talking to myself too, because I'm an asshole some days, and I'm angry and not good, but I'm trying. That's all I can do. So I hope you guys can too, and just try to be, I really believe our energy touches people. If someone curses you out or flips you off in the car, it's like you're hit with the freaking arrow of anger, and you're like, oh, and you want to, and that energy gets passed to someone else, and they're like, but imagine if you smiled and were kind, that energy is going to pass. too. It's just how it works. That's how it works. So let's try. Let's try to bring hope. All right, guys. I'm going to jump into the next episode. I freaking love this show. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you soon. Bye, everyone.